Put your hands behind your back now! Ah! You hear me? Stop resisting!
Hey! You stop right there. Don't you dare move. The voice is cut through the cold night like broken glass. I said turn around. Now, you hear me? Another officer barked, his tone sharp with irritation, authority, and a kind of disrespect reserved for people they'd already decided were beneath them. Don't play stupid. Face us. 3 white officers stormed down the dimly lit alley, blue and red lights pulsing behind them. Their hands hovered near their holsters, their boots pounding the asphalt with the confidence of men who believed the street belonged to them. And in the center of that flashing chaos stood Tasha Rivers. Black, 29, her jacket had pulled low, her face calm in a way that only someone who had survived worse could manage. She raised her hands slowly, palms out. Officers, what's the problem? Don't run your mouth. We'll tell you the problem. The tallest cop snapped. He moved closer, crowding her space. We got a call about suspicious activity, and guess what? You fit the description. Description of what? Tasha asked, keeping her voice level. Don't get smart. You think you're special out here? Turn around. Another officer stepped forward. His jaw clenched, his eyes narrowed at her as if she offended him simply by existing. Without warning, his hand shot out and slapped her across the face. It was loud, too loud, echoing off the brick walls. Tasha's head snapped sideways, but her body didn't flinch. Not really. Not in the way he expected. She had endured training that broke men twice his size. She had survived drown-proofing hell weeks and hand-to-hand combat with people who didn't care if she walked out breathing. A slap? She had endured worse in boot camp before sunrise. But she didn't respond. Not yet. The cop smirked as if he'd proven something. Yeah, that's better. Now turn around and put your hands on the wall. The second officer chimed in, his voice dripping with mock authority. When we give instructions, you follow. Didn't they teach you that wherever you came from? Where she came from. If only they knew. Tasha slowly turned, letting her fingertips rest on the cold brick wall. Her heartbeat stayed steady, not from fear, but from discipline. Her breathing remained even. Every instinct in her body reminded her she could disarm all 3 men in under 15 seconds if she wanted. But Navy SEALs didn't create chaos. They neutralized it. A flashlight beam scanned her, stopping at her boots, her hands, her pockets. The third officer muttered, "Probably out here causing trouble." They always do. Tasha closed her eyes briefly. Not at the words. She'd heard worse in silence, in shadows, in enemy territory. She closed them because she needed 1 second to keep herself controlled. Her mother always told her, strength isn't always shown by striking back. But tonight, even her mother couldn't stop what was building. The officer who slapped her stepped behind her and grabbed her wrist roughly. "Where are you headed? Huh? Running around late at night? Trying to hide something?" "I'm heading home from work," Tasha replied calmly. "If you check." We didn't ask for explanations. He yanked her arm higher, trying to force pain. She didn't react. That frustrated him even more. He shoved her shoulder. "Why aren't you saying anything now? Thought you were tough a minute ago." "I'm complying," Tasha answered simply. The second cop walked around to face her. His expression sour when he saw the slap hadn't broken her spirit. "People like you always play innocent. Then we find something. And you're going to make this much harder on yourself if you keep acting like you're above us." "Above you?" Tasha repeated quietly. She wanted to laugh, not out of disrespect, but disbelief. These men had no idea who they were touching. No idea what she'd done. No idea what she was still capable of doing. Another slap landed, this time from the officer in front of her, a hit meant to humiliate, not incapacitate. Her cheek stung, but her posture remained steady, unbroken, grounded like a warrior bracing for a wave. It made them angrier. "You think you can just stand there? Answer like that. We're in charge here." At that moment, something deep inside her, something she kept buried, disciplined, locked, stirred. She didn't move, but her eyes sharpened, focus narrowing like a sniper sight aligning. The officers didn't notice. They only saw a woman refusing to crumble. The third officer grabbed her hood and jerked her backward, forcing her to face them again. "You got ID?" "Yes," she said. "In my jacket, Don't reach." "We'll get it." The officer shoved his hand into her jacket pocket, roughly. His fingers brushed something, the hard edge of a credential case. He pulled it out, annoyed. Then his eyes caught the emblem. He froze. A golden trident. A symbol you don't mistake. A symbol earned through agony, grit, sacrifice, and a promise to defend the innocent. "Wait, what is this?" he muttered. The others stared at the badge. Their expressions shifted. Confusion first, then disbelief, then something close to fear. "That can't be real," the tallest cop said, stepping closer. But it was. Her official Navy SEAL identification. Her rank. Her clearance level. Tasha straightened slowly. Her voice calm but laced with command now. The tone of someone used to leading, not being pushed around by boys with badges. "It's real," she said. "And assaulting a federal operator is unwise." Silence fell over the alley. The cops' confidence evaporated. Their insults dried on their tongues. Their arrogance shrank into panic. Because the woman they slapped twice, the woman they humiliated, the woman they tried to intimidate, was one of the most elite soldiers on the planet. And they had just made the biggest mistake of their careers. The officer holding Tasha's Navy SEAL identification swallowed hard. His hand trembled slightly, the first sign of fear breaking through his facade of dominance. This can't be right," he whispered. "It's right," Tasha replied, stepping forward with quiet control. "And before you put your hands on me tonight, maybe you should have asked a single question instead of assuming everything you thought you knew." The second officer's face drained of color. "We didn't know." "That's the problem," she cut in. "You never know. You just react." Her voice wasn't angry. It was steady, the kind of controlled strength that made grown men feel smaller than they wanted to admit. She took back her ID from the shaking hand of the officer, who slapped her first. "You assaulted a federal operator. You violated protocol, ignored procedure, and acted without cause. You treated a citizen like a threat because of a stereotype you invented in your own mind." Their eyes lowered to ground. Tasha continued, "I've been in war zones that were safer than this alley, not because of the enemy, but because over there I knew who the enemy was." The officers shifted uncomfortably. "You're making a mistake of blowing this up," one said quietly. Tasha's gaze locked onto him, sharp, precise, unwavering. "No, you made the mistake when you slapped me. Twice." They had no response. None that mattered. She stepped back, giving them space, but her presence still towered over the moment. Her voice dropped into that powerful cadence only SEALs carried, the tone of someone who had walked through fire and returned with purpose. "You're lucky," she said. "Lucky that I chose restraint. Lucky that I understand discipline. Lucky that I value life more than you valued mine tonight." The alley seemed to shrink around them. Tasha raised her chin slightly. "You're going to file your own report. Truthful, every detail. And you're going to face whatever consequences come from it. Not because I want revenge, but because accountability matters, even when the world pretends it doesn't." The officers nodded silently, shame replacing arrogance. One whispered, "We're sorry." She didn't smile. She didn't soften. But she did nod once, firmly. "Then learn. Because the next person you treat like this might not have the training to stay calm. And they deserve safety just as much as I do." With that, she turned toward the flashing patrol cars. The night felt different now, not quieter, but clearer. She walked away, not as a victim, not as someone broken, but as someone who had faced danger without fear and still chosen the high ground. The officers watched her leave, the weight of their mistake pressing onto their shoulders heavier than their bulletproof vests. They didn't just slap a woman. They slapped a hero, and they would never forget it. As Tasha stepped onto the main road, her phone buzzed. A message from her commanding officer. "Briefing at 0600. Mission confirmed." She exhaled slowly. The world had no idea. While others judge her on sight, she would prepare and protect the very people who doubted her. She looked at the night sky, calm, clear, and honest in a way humans rarely were, and murmured to herself, "Back to work." Because heroes don't stop. Not for pain. Not for fear. Not even for injustice. They rise. They return. They continue. And Tasha Rivers, Navy SEAL, was already moving forward. If you want more powerful stories, shocking reveals, and justice-filled twists, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Your support helps these stories reach more people. Don't miss the next one.